Welcome. I am here with Fred Pullen, Program Manager at Microsoft. Welcome, Fred.
Thank you very much.
Can you tell us what your responsibilities are at Microsoft as a Program Manager?
Yes, I'm a Principal Program Manager on the Microsoft Edge team, responsible for working with enterprise customers.
So you work with Edge, which means that you run Edge on Windows or on Android and iOS as well.
Yes, Microsoft Edge is now available not only on Windows 10, but also on iOS and Android. Now that we've added manageability to Microsoft Edge on iOS and Android, it's now more compelling than ever for enterprise customers to use it. Eventually, it will phase out the Intune managed browser on those platforms.
Okay, so that's interesting. Edge is not the only browser on Windows. What's happening with Internet Explorer?
Yeah, as you know, I have a long history with this. I used to be on the marketing team, left for a year, and was asked to come back to engineering. Microsoft is making a pretty significant investment in the browser. Several years ago, we introduced enterprise mode for backward compatibility in IE 11, and then we deprecated support for IE 8, 9, and 10. Our message to customers for the last few years has been that you can upgrade your line of business applications to modern standards, and you can take your time because IE 11 is still available for backward compatibility. Well, just yesterday I gave a session and I asked for a show of hands in the audience, how many of you still have a dependency on Internet Explorer 11? And it was, I think, the entire audience. I've switched the question and I said, okay, how many of you don't have a dependency on Internet Explorer 11? And I had 4 or 5 hands go up. Yeah, so the fact is we still need to be able to support Internet Explorer 11, especially for larger customers who still have dependencies on document modes, ActiveX controls, browser helper objects for their line of business apps. Now that said, we want to continue making it a better experience. Today, when you launch Microsoft Edge, you can set it as the default browser and then switch to IE 11 automatically for sites that are on your enterprise mode site list. And then you can also configure a group policy or MDM policy that will automatically switch back to Microsoft Edge for any other sites. So effectively, we're delivering least privileged browsing. You know, you're only bounced into IE 11 for those sites that you've approved. So those sites that are okay. Now, that's the experience today. We would like to make it an even better experience. So we're talking to a lot of customers about what that could look like and what what we can do in the future. Obviously, we would all love to be able to move away from older document modes and older web technologies like ActiveX. But I think just like we're doing with Flash, if we continue to scope where and when it's run, and IT has the ability to lock down IE just to the set of sites that require it, we can slowly determine how big a problem it really is and figure out what our next steps can be.
Okay, thank you very much. So actually, IE is there to stay.
IE today is considered a component of the operating system, and it officially follows the life cycle of the operating system on which it's installed. So the short answer is yes, it's there to stay. Now there are many technologies. If you think about VB6, there are lots of technologies out there that have been superseded by newer versions, but there may be solutions out there that still use these technologies as the platform. And I think that's where Internet Explorer is. I would encourage customers not to develop new sites for Internet Explorer, not to develop new ActiveX controls, but certainly we want to be able to support that technology for existing sites.
Okay. So there's Edge and there's Internet Explorer, and I see Internet Explorer as well on server operating systems. Will there be Edge on server operating systems?
That is something that we're actively investigating as well. The biggest scenario there is, as you probably know, there are many customers who use server for RDSH, for remote desktop. And so the reason Internet Explorer has been so popular on that platform is that Internet Explorer has a smaller resource profile than some other modern browsers. So if I'm creating resources for, say, a Citrix farm or an RDSH farm, I know that I can get more users on the same hardware if I use a browser that doesn't require as much memory, doesn't require as much CPU, and so on. So that is a consideration that we're taking. We would love to be able to bring a modern browser to Windows Server, but we also want to make sure that we do so in a smart way that doesn't necessarily mean that they need to significantly increase their investment in server.
Okay, so we might see something like that. I was wondering, and I don't know if you can answer that question, is for Windows Server 2019 there is no RDSH. Does that mean that there is an end to browsing on servers, or is that completely separate from developments around Edge?
It's separate from development around Edge. I mean, frankly, we would love to figure out how to be able to bring the browser to more platforms. If we look at, we brought it to iOS and Android based on customer requests. So now we're absolutely listening to enterprise customers. We want to meet them where they live, frankly.
Thank you very much. Last year, Microsoft introduced AppLocker, a way to run Edge in a containerized environment for more security. Are there developments around that as well?
Yes, Microsoft Edge is treated like a UWP, so it absolutely can respect AppLocker settings. As a matter of fact, one update in Windows 10 October update is the fact that we now have 4 different kiosk modes, including a kiosk mode that can run above the lock screen using AppLocker. Yeah.
That sounds really cool. So there is really a way to use Edge as a secure browser without requiring separate applications. You can just start using Edge and have a secure kiosk mode.
Yes, for multiple kiosk applications, or just to use Edge alone as your single application browser. Yes.
Thank you very much. I learned a lot, and I hope you will enjoy the conference. Will you have more sessions to present this week?
I will not, although we're doing some open office hours. And we absolutely encourage customers to reach out to us if you have any questions. I have to add one thing, because there's been a lot of interest in this. Windows Defender Application Guard is a lightweight virtualization layer that provides more protection for the browser, so that if a user is compromised, you simply close it and the compromise goes away, the exploit goes away. So we have gotten a lot of interest in Windows Defender Application Guard. Frankly, after 5 or 6 years in browser marketing, I thought I was done with the browser. I left for about a year, and the enterprise team reached out to me and offered me a job in engineering because there is so much interest from customers. So I do think I'm bullish on this. I think we have a significant competitive differentiator in Application Guard, and we still have the best backward compatibility in the business. In the guise of IE11. So I do think Microsoft is still in the browser game, and we're stronger than ever in the enterprise today.
Okay, thank you very much. While I'm thinking of it, I have one more question. In Google Chrome, there is a way to have multiple identities across multiple websites. That's something I am dearly missing in Edge. Is something about to come up for Edge for that?
That is something that we're actively investigating. No promises, but that is something we're actively investigating, and that's something that I too share this need. Because when you do a demo and you use multiple profiles, here's the IT pro, here's the end user, here's the line of business application manager, you need to be able to show those different personas in different profiles. So I absolutely share this need and share this understanding, and it's nice. They said to pick your superpower just down the hall here. Yeah. My superpower is advocate, because it's now my job to be an advocate for enterprise customers. So I love hearing requests from customers and from people like yourself, subject matter experts, who can help us create an even better solution, an even better browser.
Okay, well, the feedback is known at Microsoft, so we're looking forward to this new functionality. Fred, thank you very much for this very informative interview, and hopefully see you back soon.
Yeah, thank you very much for your time.